What is up, you guys? You're watching Nail Guide TV, and today we're going to be doing some spooky spider nails. Durr! What is up, you guys? Today we are going to be doing some spider nails, and of course I've got to use the Gotti Nails product. We're going to start out with number 15 here. This is Back to the Origin. So it's a really nice neutral color, kind of like a skin tone. And where I got inspiration for these nails were actually from tattoos. So I saw a lot of these kind of like 3D spiders on in the tattoo community, and I thought it would be pretty cool if we painted something like that on some nails. So of course we're working with gel here. You want to go ahead and do 2 coats. We go ahead and cure that first coat and start applying our second coat. We get a really nice coverage. So I'm pretty much making sure that I cover the whole entire nail, but also making sure that it looks even. Sometimes we apply a little bit too much pressure to a certain side, so it's really important just to go back over it, and then of course you want to always cap the free edge. Go ahead and cure it. This we're curing for 30 seconds in a LED light. And I'm using our number 2. This is Back to Black. It's a really nice pigmented black gel. Really easy to work with, and it's great for doing designs and of course, you know, full coverage as well. With the brush, I typically like to use something that is pointed. In this case, you know, I don't really have a specific brush that I'm using. Probably just something that I found at Michael's. Which, by the way, if you've ever bought brushes from Michael's, you know that is the worst place to buy any kind of brush, because I don't know how your Michael's is, but mine, oh my gosh, the aisle is just the biggest mess in the world, and the brushes, like, it looks like a child just came up to it and played with it for the whole entire day. It is ruined. Michael's is the worst place to buy your brush. Oh, I think Hobby Lobby, on the other hand. Back to the nail. So far, all we've done is paint the body of the spider. And it's basically 2 circles right next to each other. One is larger than the other, obviously. And the larger one will be the body itself, and then the smaller one to the right of the nail is going to be the head. At this point, I'm drawing in some of the legs, and if you notice, I leave a separation between some of the pieces of the legs, and just because we're working on such a small scale, I don't want to go back in there to separate it, so I left a pretty small space in between each of these little limbs here. We're gonna go ahead and just put all 8 in. I know it's really time consuming, it's not a lot of fun, but just using the very point of that brush, you can do a lot of stuff with it. And you don't really need to load up the brush with a lot of gel. Whatever you've already got on there is plenty to continue painting. Let me know in the comments if you guys actually like this new style that we're trying to go with, where we keep the videos pretty raw and pure. It just gives you a better idea of how it's painted, instead of you know, just chopping it all up and just only keeping the exciting things. This keeps it real, you know. So I hope you guys like this new style, and if you don't, let me know in the comments so that we can better improve our next videos, because, you know, a lot of time goes into it, and if we're working for no reason, we don't want to be making videos all long for no reason. Like, dude, I don't even know what I'm going to be saying in this thing. It's just, what do I talk about when I'm painting a spider? Like, dude, come on. It's like, paint another leg. I gotta say that 8 times, you guys, come on. But in all seriousness, I have a reference picture that I'm working off of, and I'm very meticulously paying attention to where all of these little legs go, and making sure that I have it coming in at the right angle based off of the body. And it's a little difficult to do when it's your first time doing it, but you really want to just be proportionate with everything and go basing off of those contact points. So on the body and the head where those separate, I'm paying attention to exactly where those other legs and limbs come into play with the spider itself. It makes a big difference when you're painting things like portraits because you know what a dog looks like. And if your proportions are off, it's going to look really weird. Something like a spider, you don't have to worry too much, but it's nice to try to be on point the whole entire time. I went ahead, I took some of our no wipe top coat, diluted the black a little bit, and I created this nice smoky gray shade, and I'm putting in the shadows. So imagine my thumb as being the light source, and that's where our light is going to come from. So typically you only have one light source, and when you have one light source, then you get glares and shadows in certain areas. Because where my thumb is at, that's the light. I'm placing the shadows where they should be. And then I also went down there and added a little more darkness under the body because it takes a little bit more area. And where his body should be is going to be a little bit darker. Now, I played a little different spot here with the lighting. I added some highlights to the body. You see it's still very opaque. It's a very opaque white there. But we'll come in with our top coat and dilute it and just to soften it up a little bit. Now that we have our top coat on our brush, we can go ahead, dilute it, spread that white out a little bit. It's going to soften the edges, make it look like the spider's round. If it's too solid, it looks more like he has a hard edge there. So I wanted to just go in, separate it, make sure that you could tell that his body is rounded off. Basically, we're still working with white and top coat at this point. It makes it a little bit easier rather than shading and mixing a bunch of colors to create it. I use this in a lot of my different paintings, and I just feel like it works out really well. Here, we'll go ahead and take Pretty Little Miss. It's number 27, and I mix a little bit of this with our white, and just to create the little hourglass butt on this Black Widow. Since this design is tattoo inspired, I've never seen anyone have a tattoo of, say, like a daddy long legs. Like, that's not really scary. That's not a really cool tattoo. If I saw a dude have a tattoo of a daddy long legs, I'd be like, what the heck? But, ooh, a Black Widow, dark and scary. And they kill their mates or something like that. We're going to go ahead and apply the top coat here. And in this case, I'm using a matte top coat. And as I'm applying it, I'm making sure that I cover the whole entire nail, as well as checking out how the light refracts from the surface of the nail itself. And if I have like these even lines, then I know that it's a smooth application. Of course, we want to cap the free edge and check it out. It looks pretty good. We're going to go ahead and cure that in the light for 30 seconds. After we're cured, we have a nice matte finished nail. I hope you guys enjoyed the tutorial, and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us out to create this content. If you liked it, great. If you didn't, I don't know, thumbs down or something. I hope you guys were able to follow along. If not, you can always rewind, hit the subscribe button, comment below, hit the thumbs up, and happy Halloween!